Couch Co-op. Couch Co-op. Couch Co-op.
Hello and welcome to the... Oh, man. When I'm doing too many things, guys, I just can't blow the intro every single time. Holy moly.
You got this.
Let's do it again.
Let's
Hello,
go.
Couch Co-opers, Couch Potatoes, and Couch Codependents. This is the 172nd Couch Co-op show, the greatest video game show in the world. We are a group of close friends sharing our love of gaming with you. I'm Ian, along with Jared,
Hey there.
Aaron,
Hello.
Scott,
My house.
and we are indeed at Scott's house. And Dave is still out. He's coming back soon, guys. But we have a guest today. Andrew Lockhart is with us.
How's it going?
Cool. And we'll get to more about him in a minute. Remember, you can be a part of the conversation by leaving comments and questions over on Twitbook, Instaface, and Gramter at Couch Co-op Shows, all one word.
No hyphen.
You can find our podcast wherever they are sold, or just go to couchcoopshow.com. Also, try following us, twitch.tv/The Couch Co-op Show. We stream our show we try to stream our show every Monday night at 7 p.m. Pacific
Most of the time.
Standard Time. It was a traffic was an issue today, and Jerry was a little late, and it's just been a rush to get everything set up.
You're welcome.
There was
So-
a one-car crash outside my house.
Uh,
Interesting. Yeah.
So Andrew, I apologize for not being here
Oh,
to
no
welcome
worries.
you,
I was
And that
thankfully
I-
here on time.
and that I've been chicken with his head cut off trying to set all this up. Usually it goes a lot smoother than this.
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
But yeah, Andrew, thank you for being on the show.
Of course.
I've been trying to kind of get you on the show for a while now.
Probably last 3 years at least.
Brad connected us. He's a mutual friend, and we finally got you on the show. Very awesome. What we do with new guests on the show, we like to, kind of get their gaming history. And what would you say, or how did you get into video games?
I think, well, me personally, I got into video games through friends and family. Just going over. So interesting. My parents actually did not let me own a video game system for probably the first, I want to say 10 years of my life, at least. They actually were against video games, but so many of my friends and family had them that they actually ended up getting both me and my brother a Game Boy each. It was our first system. We each got a handheld. We each got a copy of Pokemon. I got Pokemon Yellow. He got Pokemon Blue, I think. And I asked my mom about it years later, and she actually said that the reason why she got us video games was because she was afraid we'd be socially awkward. Like, we'd
Right.
not be able to make friends or keep the friends we had if we didn't have some sort of video game. So that's kind of was my first introduction, was Game Boy and Pokemon. I mean, I had played NES and SNES at my uncle's houses and aunts' houses. Growing up, I remember playing a lot of Mario with a couple of my friends. Original NES. I actually had a couple of friends who were very into gaming, so I got to experience, whenever I went over to their house, the wide gamut. And then growing up, after that initial Game Boy, my parents actually got a lot more lenient. So
Right.
then I had the GameCube and the Wii, and pretty much just went from there. It was actually mostly largely Nintendo. We didn't really have a PS2 until very late in the PS2's life expectancy, which, I mean, was still great because there were so many great games that came out.
Right.
But yeah, that's kind of the intro I had to gaming, was mainly just at friends and family house, and then much later on I actually brought it over to to my house, and I actually got to play more then, and actually got to get good at games, because up until that point I was not good at games, because you only get the few hours of the sleepover to play Mario.
All-nighters, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So is it odd? Do you ever talk to your family about the fact that, like,
Oh,
you
they're
know,
totally on board with games now. Like my
no,
dad,
that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Like now that you like, that's what you kind of do. It's like your business. Is you ever have that like, oh, you guys just never let us have, and now is it kind of
think
funny looking back?
It is kind of funny. It's a little ironic, I would think, too, in a way that my parents tried to keep me so away from tech. They're late adopters for technology in general.
Right.
Like they didn't have an answering machine until I was in high school. We had dial-up until after I got out of college. Part of that was just where we lived too, but they've always kind of been late adopters in it. And it's funny too because my dad is a hardcore gamer. I would say he's played probably at this point probably tens of thousands of hours into Age of Empires 2.
Oh wow.
Like he will only play that game. I mean, he'll play Age of Empires 1. That's kind of what he started. That's the other thing too, actually. I guess we did have video games on the computer, but we didn't have console games.
Right.
Because for whatever reason that was harder for my parents to limit the amount of time we played consoles versus computer, even though at the time we only had one TV.
Right.
I don't know how that works, but yeah, we had computer games since.
So he was playing
basically.
video games. And
Oh,
not,
yeah.
and not letting you basically. Or
No,
you
he would actually.
he
Yeah,
would.
he would. Like we'd play Age of Empires, and
Okay.
that was my first PC game. I think. I mean, I played like Pajama Sam and Math Blasters and
Jeez.
all those games too. But yeah, I don't know. It's always been a weird split for me. I always view PC games and console games as kind of two different entities,
I get
which is
it.
probably why I
Yeah,
got
they still do.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, at
But
this
the
point,
lines are
though,
blurring now at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, at this point, the Xbox and the PS4 are like they're basically PCs. I
Right.
mean,
Pretty much.
And then pretty much all of Xbox's games you can play on PC. So
Exactly,
it's getting
yeah.
weirder and weirder. And then the other question we like to ask is, what would you say is your favorite video game of all time?
well, that is a tough question. I could go by system. If you could pick a system, and then I could maybe go by that.
What is,
Atari
your what is
2600.
your favorite system of all time?
A favorite system of all time is the GameCube.
Okay, well, then what's your favorite game on the GameCube?
Actually, probably if we're going by pure amount of hours, Smash Bros.
Good
If we're
choice.
going by, yeah, we actually were playing a little
Ultimate.
Smash, yeah, Ultimate, before the stream. If we're going by like actual story-based game, that gets a little tougher. Actually, it varies day to day, but I'm actually gonna say Glitch, in the system.
Oh, Metal Arms?
Metal Arms Glitch in
Oh
the
my
system.
gosh, I love that game. That's a kind of a very underrated game.
It is a very underrated game, and that's part of the reason why I'm gonna say
It's a
it.
very cool game.
Just because I was thinking about it recently, like I have not played that in a while. It's a
Never
great
played it.
shooter. It has a great multiplayer.
It does,
or
yeah.
At least it did.
and
back
you
in
can
the
do
day.
4-player split screen,
Yep.
and couch co-op that thing.
Yep. And it's got a lot of humor. It's you basically start off as this little robot who has to go save his planet of robots. It sounds very Transformery, but it's cool.
Nothing
in
wrong
that
with
you have
that.
guns.
No.
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
you have actual guns and you shoot people. And I'm not doing it justice, but you should definitely check it out if you
It's
haven't.
like-
it's
it's-
on multiple systems too. It's not.
Yeah,
a
I have
GameCube
it. I have it
exclusive.
on PS2, so we could
Yeah.
play it sometime. It's kind of was like that. It came out like after that whole Ratchet and Clank
Yes,
vibe.
it does have a lot of Ratchet and Clank vibe. You do collect like bolts and stuff too, so I don't know how much of that they ripped off, but it's
That's
better
awesome.
than Ratchet and Clank.
Is
At least the
it?
first one. The first one. It's better than the first one.
Okay, all right.
Sweet.
I remember loving I beat that game. I love that game quite a bit. There was a little glitching. It's not as polished as Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, it
as I
definitely doesn't have
remember.
the polish. It was a smaller studio, I want
Yeah,
to
yeah,
say.
yeah. I think so. I don't remember who it was, but I'm
Yeah.
sure one of us could Google it.
That's
That's all
I
right.
don't even know what it was called.
Yeah.
Metal Arms glitch in the system.
Okay.
Very awesome. And then yeah, you're the man, the myth, the legend behind Rockhart Clothing.
Yeah.
And so what led you down this path? At what point did you decide that I'm going to make kind of video game rock music infused clothing line?
Good question. So, Rockhart originally started off as my gamer tag, and that actually started off as a nickname from playing Halo with my friends. I was a big fan of the rocket launcher, and I was not great at Halo in the beginning, so I had a lot of kill suicides.
Oh, right.
Because I would fire right between us, and it would kill them, but it would also kill me. So I did it enough times that my friends actually coined that move, the Rockhart, because my last name is Lockhart. and with the
so
rocket launcher.
Oh.
Yeah. So I took that and I'm like, okay, fine, that's gonna be my gamer tag. And then I pivoted it into a company, and it has nothing to do with Halo or rocket launchers, but it still worked
Right.
because it just happened to also combine my two favorite things, rock and roll and retro video games.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of a weird like coincidence when I was looking for a that's perfect. Like that's it. I think I thought about it for 5 minutes. Like, okay, yeah, that's gonna be it. I started Rockhart because I needed a creative outlet.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a graphic designer for the last 9 years, and then before that, I was in school for it as well.
Was a clothing line something like doing that kind of merch something you wanted, or was it
Yes,
like
yeah,
other
so-
ideas you were kicking around?
Yeah, it was always kind of a clothing line, and since then, it's kind of evolved into other things as well. But I was really inspired by Johnny Cupcakes, which is a pretty big independent clothing line. I actually met the guy behind it, Johnny Earl, although he goes by Johnny Cupcakes. While I was in school, I actually went to one of his store openings in London. I just happened to be studying abroad that semester, and that kind of was the spark, I guess, that set the whole thing ablaze. Like, I always knew I wanted to make stuff, being a designer, being an artist before that. And so it's just kind of been ingrained in me that I wanted to actually make things. And then when I was trying to settle on something to do for like a passion project, I was looking at, because I always liked video games, but I really was looking around and I didn't really see anything I wanted to wear on a t-shirt. Like everything was very in your face. Oh, I'm a gamer. Oh, this is obviously so-and-so game. I wanted to do something a little bit different than that. So
more design oriented and
more illustration. I also have a big background in illustration. That's kind of how I got into graphic design. I was a illustrator, and then I actually wanted to be a comic book artist originally. Yeah. And then I found out how much they make a page, and I'm like, that's not gonna work. And then I was lucky enough that my high school teacher was actually taking design classes at the time, so he taught me the programs, and then I decided this was something I wanted to do full time, which led me to school, which eventually led me to doing Rockhart as my senior thesis project. But I really had been doing it for longer than that.
Right.
It was just kind of I didn't want to work on anything else but Rockhart, so I shoehorned it into that. And then it's been the website's been up for 8 years. We actually celebrated our 8th year anniversary. Was that March 6th? That was 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, we did a whole thing on Twitch, and that kind of moved to Twitch is a whole other thing, which I'm sure
we can talk about that.
We'll
too.
get into as well. But it was a ton of fun. It was great to see so many familiar faces, and it was just it was actually kind of touching. Like, it's been my personal project for so long that it's always nice to see other people that are affected by it and that enjoy what I make.
Is it all you do now? I mean, is it pretty much, or do you still?
I still have a full-time job.
job.
Yeah. It would be nice to make that the end goal, but it's a process.
Right. No, I get it. And then the merchandise that you've designed, I mean, I know you do streams now of you kind of designing stuff, but like what goes into like what you decide, like this video, is it all stuff you really like, or is it stuff that culture likes, or is it?
It's usually my litmus test for if I'm actually going to pay to get this thing printed is, will I wear it? And that's kind of my benchmark. Usually I'll go by that. Sometimes if I'm not sure on the design, I'll ask the community to see if there's any interest in people getting stuff. Every once in a long while, someone will actually have an idea that they'll bring to me that I'll be like, that is amazing. We are totally going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, usually it's just whatever I think would be cool, whatever I think would actually sell relatively well. But most importantly, is it something that I would personally wear or use? Or
what would you say has been the hands down most popular thing you've designed?
Probably the controller rock hands. So I've done them for a variation of consoles, the NES, SNES, Genesis. I recently did a Power Glove one as well. Those by far, that's a newer one. Yeah. The NES and Genesis pentagram pins actually have been very successful as well. But yeah, that's definitely the best seller. But I mean, they've all sold relatively well.
Right,
There's a few stinkers in there, but for the most part,
Oh.
they've sold pretty good. Those
Is there-
aren't on the website anymore. So
Is there something you've like always wanted to design that you just hadn't found the way to do it yet, or are there any of those kind of like?
I mean, on that list is probably like a video game. Although I've gotten close a few times to actually working with people to do it. And actually, I wanted to do some records as well, like not necessarily the recording side of it or the mixing side, but the actual design of the whole thing and the distribution. So becoming a publisher. Those two are still on the list, and I'm definitely not discounting them at any time soon. But yeah, everything else has been like I made a ring that was really fun to work with. I actually worked with a sculptor in the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
Did an amazing job on that. That was always something I
With
wanted
the Mega
to do.
Man.
Yep,
skull
the Megadeth one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. There's been a few other projects. I'm actually working with some animators and stuff now on some Twitch graphics that I've wanted to have done for a really long time. Some of them are already up on the channel as well, but I even have my own theme song that is coming very soon.
Nice. Cool.
It's pretty fucking awesome.
Cool.
It's all instrumental, so there's no singing to it. Although the guy who made it can probably sing. He's a metal magician.
Oh.
Well, he's a metal magician too, but metal musician.
I like
yeah.
that term.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, he's pretty fucking amazing as well. So yeah, I mean that's probably the biggest thing, besides just the personal satisfaction of getting stuff that I want made, is being able to work with such amazing people.
Mm-hmm.
Especially that's been true when I've started working on Twitch. So I started Twitch last year in December. And I originally started it because I was not having enough time to play video games. I was spending all my time either working on Rockhart, working on freelance projects, or at my job, which is also a designer.
Right.
So I decided something had to change. I really wanted a way to reach out to the community because I knew there was people who were fans of the brand who wanted to talk with not only me but other people as well. And ultimately, it just seemed like a good platform. I'd heard of Twitch for a long time.
Right.
I
A
always
lot
thought-
more people are hearing about it. You know,
Yeah.
it's out there, and
Yeah,
it's,
every day, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And I actually got introduced to it through a friend of the brand as well, who asked me actually if he could use my rock emote as an emote, or rock logo as an emote. And then I had to go look up what Twitch was to make 100% sure I was okay that he used it.
Right.
Like, what actually is this? So that was kind of my first introduction. And then I realized, hey, this is actually something that's really interesting to me. So I kind of jumped in feet first. I started streaming 3 days a week. I do everything from creative streams to retro streams to playing modern games. Right now, my schedule is Wednesdays. I do creative streams where I actually am making merch designs on stream, and then I also have a record request system. So I also, in addition to being an avid video game collector, I also collect a ton of vinyl records. So I actually have a system where people can request records live on stream for a queue, and you can see where yours is in that queue.
I'm starting to see that more with Twitch players. Is it's not just their games; it's if they have a side hobby of like DJing or whatever. My friend does retro games, but he also DJs once a week, and I like that. It's like you come back for variety. It's really cool to mix it up.
So
Yeah.
what would you say has been since you started on this journey 8 years ago or longer? What has been the kind of the uphill battle you've kind of faced? You think?
I mean, the biggest thing is always being able to sell enough to make more stuff.
More stuff.
And I mean, I've definitely been successful in that I'm able to at least put out a few new designs every year. The last like 2-3 years, it's actually ramped up considerably, which has been really nice. And I've also seen a nice bump from doing Twitch because it's
Right.
more social, and I think more people can put a face to the name.
The brands. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a little more. It's more content, I guess, is the way.
Yeah.
That was the other reason too, was that I was struggling to constantly put stuff on Instagram and Twitter and everything that wasn't just, hey, here's a shirt.
right.
Here's the
Sure,
same shirt
sure.
because I haven't sold enough to make the next shirt yet. So here's that shirt again in a slightly different way. So that was getting a little old. So that was also nice that Twitch gave me a way to actually interact with people and be on people's radar and get to know people and not have to be posting the same design.
And how have you found Twitch playing or designing? How have you found that
I've
experience?
been enjoying it immensely.
Right.
I've been probably enjoying it a little too much. My wife has expressed concern about the amount of time I play video games sometimes, but it's all right. It was just when I didn't necessarily clean up the house as much as I should have
Research and
beforehand.
development.
Yeah,
you know, it's all
exactly.
kinds of
Oh
things.
no, she's totally 100% behind it, and she's a fan of how much I'm enjoying it.
Right.
But yeah, it's been a blast. Like, I've met so many amazing people through Twitch that I honestly could not imagine if I hadn't done this. Like, I don't know where the brand would be at if I hadn't been engaged in.
Are you
in this
affiliate yet,
platform.
or
I am.
you
Yeah.
are? So
Yeah.
you're getting, now you have to get
that's
what,
great.
partners
Nice.
next or something.
Yes, partners next.
Emoticons.
Yes.
That's a big kickers. Getting your emoticons custom. The
Yeah.
Rockhart one would be super rad. to have.
Well, they actually.
I was gonna say, I see something on the Twitch. It looks like a rock
yeah.
symbol.
yeah.
Hey, Shadowist.
Yeah.
That's one of my
Official.
mods and one of the probably the biggest supporters of the brand as well. How's it going, man? Yeah, so affiliates right now get, actually they just changed it, so we even get more emotes, but I think right now it's 5 total. You get 3 for your tier 1 sub, 1 for your tier 2, and 1 for your tier 3. But they actually recently announced that they were expanding that even more. So yeah, the line between partner and affiliate is blurred even more, which has actually been really nice because it allows us affiliates to give more back to the community if you're subbing. I mean, even if you're not subbing and just watching, it's still amazing for the smaller streamers because even that 1 or 2 people can bump you up, 5 spots in the list.
Right.
Yeah.
So you going to TwitchCon? Or?
I am. Yeah, this is my first
Nice.
year going to TwitchCon as well. I'm hoping to have a booth, but the Artist Alley is evidently very vicious, and there's a lot of people vying for very few spots. So I'm also weighing the option of just not even worrying about it and just going to experience it for
Good
the
luck.
first year.
We'll have to have you back on. Talk about it.
Yeah.
I have another question. It kind of pertains to that. With Rockhart, how often? I mean, we've seen you at like Portland Retro Gaming Expo. Do you set up a lot? Do you go to other conventions?
That's
what's
the main one.
That's just pretty much the one.
Yeah, and I just got lucky that perhaps the best retro video game expo in the United States is actually
In Portland.
in Portland.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is very convenient.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to PAX a couple of times, which is a ton of fun.
Did you set up or just
no?
go?
Just to go. I had connections, so I actually got in for free with
Nice.
a few years in a row, which was kind of nice. And
Join
now
the
I
club.
can't imagine paying. Yeah, I had a friend who had an apartment like 2 blocks from the venue, and I had press passes through another friend. So for like 2 years in a row, I literally paid nothing because I would
Nice.
also just road trip up with. I paid for gas basically, so it was like $30 to go to PAX.
Cool.
But yeah, the Portland Retro Gaming Expo is the main one. I've done a few other ones here and there. It's never really as successful, and the setup time for a lot of them is about the same, so it's hard for me to justify doing more. I think maybe at some point, if I actually had a system in place and actually was doing this at least part-time, it'd make a little more sense.
Right.
But for right now, taking the time off of work and the extra day or 2 to recuperate after doing one of those events, because PRG is a big deal.
Right. No. Yeah.
I've been to PAX too. That merch area is like just a small little corner.
Oh yeah, it's
Like you
insane.
can completely skip it because it's maybe like the 3rd floor while the exhibit floor is on the main floor.
Yeah,
like,
unless you're
by-
lucky enough to have one of the original spots in there, like
Yeah.
Fangamer has that massive booth just
Mhm.
right when you walk in. Yeah, they've had that spot for forever,
Yeah,
but they were one of the original people to support PAX, so they get prime real estate.
I'm sure. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I can't compete
The
with that.
best
Plus, the booth space, even for a small one.
And it's
At
spendy
PAX?
too, right?
Yeah, it
That's
is.
the
Yeah,
other thing.
that's the other thing. That's the other thing that's kind of kept me out too. Is the I looked at it a while ago, but
I mean,
it
even
was in the
PRG's kind of
1,000.
spendy. I mean, for like somewhere for like a podcast to set up is like kind of pointless since we don't make any money.
Yeah.
Like to
Right.
spend like what $150 to have us sit there for the weekend is
Yeah, PRG is actually very reasonable compared to something
right.
like PAX. But yeah, no, for that I totally understand. But yeah, I mean my presence at Portland Retro Gaming Expo has always been
yeah,
getting
pretty good
bigger.
size. Yeah.
Yeah, this year I had one of the NCAP booths, and that's what I got next year as well. So
Cool.
yeah, it worked out pretty good this year. I actually had a banner year. It's the best year I had. So
Awesome.
That's
awesome.
great.
yeah.
Any special gear then coming out for like the 8th birthday anniversary?
I usually, I mean,
or are you gonna wait till 10 and do something big?
I'll at least wait till 9 because it's a little bit past 8. But yes, I'm gonna do something big for 10. For 5, I did a whole gift box that had a flask, a custom T-shirt, patch, some guitar picks, some stickers, actual like controller overlay sticker for the NES, a couple other things, and that actually sold really well. I was lucky enough to also kind of tie that into getting on to Metal Jesus Rocks YouTube for a few videos. Jason is just a really amazing dude. He's been wearing my designs for years, and we've just kind of grown a friendship out of that, of me just giving him shirts every time I see him at an expo. I'm actually headed up there next month as well to see him, which will be fun. It's been a while. It's been 2 years actually since I've been up to Seattle. It's kind of crazy. Yeah.
Do you guys have any other questions?
No, I'm good.
These guys just sit here and listen while I
Yeah,
talk.
yeah.
I remember I
think, you've covered
I
all
made the
bases.
request directly to you because I didn't get the NES Mini. I got the Super NES Mini, and I was like, make SNES controller stickers because as a
they're
kid,
tough, yeah.
my Nintendo Powers. As soon as that came in, I remember just like every one of my controllers then had a sticker, and I'd done so many Hadoukens that it actually wiped off that little area where the Dundam forward for.
Yeah.
It's such a good idea, and it was such a big thing. I'm surprised they're not like real popular to just make overlay stickers for every controller.
Yeah, I mean,
really.
I've definitely sold a few for sure. The NES is specifically good for it because it has that like chiseled out area, but the
perfect
the
square.
SNES
too.
one is a little tougher since it has all the bevels and stuff on it.
Yeah.
I do have one more question. We talked about some of your merch, but what is your personal favorite that you've designed that you've released out into the wild?
That was a tough question.
That you're most proud of, or?
I think the most proud of one is the ring, just because of how much effort that took.
How long did that take?
I worked on the concept of that for probably 3 years.
Oh wow.
The second one to that is the 3D Power Glove pin that I have as well. That also probably took about 3 years from initial concept to working with a 3D guy to actually make it, then finding the right factory in China to actually produce it. I think I went through 3 or 4 factories just for that one.
Damn.
That one was easier than the ring in terms of like being able to afford it. The ring was kind of a one-time thing. I actually still have some, but I also was bad about sizing, and so if there's any ladies watching and you like heavy metal rings, like it'll fit you. I sold out of the sizes that actually fit normal people really quick. So I might do that again soon, probably with a different design, but
Cool.
that was the most technically challenging one for sure.
And we should plug it. It's rockhartclothing.com, right?
Yep. ROCKHART.
Cool.
I do have one last thing. So when you mentioned you do all this stuff by yourself, is there any like particular clothing person you want to work with, like a collaboration type thing to make it more like unique in a sense, or?
So I actually do not manufacture the t-shirts myself. I actually go through a local Portland printer.
Oh.
I just do all the designs for the most part. Like 99% of the stuff on my store is stuff I've designed myself. And if it's not, it's something that I had an initial idea for, and I went to someone to do the final design.
Okay.
The only 2 instances I can think of that off the top of my head are the ring.
Right.
I had the sketches for it, and I had someone made it. And then the blue turbo shell design, I actually commissioned one of my favorite illustrators, Jason Wasserman, who's based out of Canada, who's a comic book artist, and I had him do that one as well. So those are 2. It's very rare that I don't actually do all the design myself, but for the manufacturing, I leave it to the professionals. I not only want high quality design, I also want high quality product, so I don't really skip any steps with that. I always print on fashion fit tees, which are really soft and really durable. I use discharge ink when at all possible, which actually dyes the fabric instead of printing on top of it. So
Okay.
the shirt itself will actually last a lot longer. I still wear a couple of T-shirts I've had since basically the beginning. That have just, I mean, they faded obviously, but it's
Adds to the
staying
character.
power. Yeah, exactly. It looks more vintage.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sweet.
Awesome. And with your Twitch channel, that's what I wanted to plug here. It's different though. It's like what?
It's just
Twitch.tv, Rockhart.
ROCKHART. I got
That's
it.
it.
Simple. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Still working on getting that
Oh,
short URL.
that's cool. All right. Well, now you can just kind of chime in with any opinions, and we'll carry on with the rest of the show and have some fun. Have
Looks
another beer.
A lot of activity going on too.
Oh yeah.
I'm not
Yeah,
even paying
so
attention. Is there
Your loyal
anything?
followers.
Yeah. So guys, I can't see chat, but it's behind
Yeah, we're
me
not
right
paying.
now,
It's
so.
yeah. I mean, someone could just look on their phone if they want to. But anyway, yeah, we'll get to some news. Well, actually, we have a couple comments. Oh, actually, a comment and a question.
Nice.
Tony Death. These are not comments from chat. Maybe we'll get some of those in here in a minute.
We can have a roommate
Yeah.
read
If
it.
you guys have questions, ask them in chat too.
But Tony Death says last month or so, the show has been great. It feels there feels like there was something dragging the show down, but I can't quite put my finger on it. So he must be.
He loves Dave.
He really loves Dave.
Yeah. He
Dave and
does.
Tony's relationship is continuing.
It sounds
Best
more
buds
like
for
a
life.
complaint
It's
than
an
a
odd
comment.
love-hate thing.
And then Justin dropped a question. Do you guys prefer games with like nonsense action, like Fortnite, or do you guys prefer games with great stories?
I mean, why not both?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why
Both
not
is
both?
nice.
Dot Jeff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's games like Bayonetta that have great
Both,
action,
yeah.
but the story is
No one
so
playing
off
Bayonetta
the
for
rails.
stories.
No one say that's a great story. It's a
yeah.
fun.
I mean,
it's a
an
fun story.
entertaining- It's an entertaining story. I guess. Yeah. You got to define what great is.
Yeah,
If it's entertaining. Yes.
Yeah, I do love a great story, but I mean, it depends on my mood, really.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I just want to sit down for many hours and enjoy a nice story,
Yeah.
and sometimes I just want to destroy shit.
Bulletstorm was a perfect. I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
care
Oh, yeah.
what happens. I don't know the characters' names. Just shoot everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what about like a racing game where you're just going around in a circle? I mean, I enjoy
See-
doing that for hours and hours at a time, and there's no real story there. And
Come
there's
on,
Well, I was
what-
gonna say,
what
my
it-
real
It's nice
guilty
to have
pleasure
something
is
going on.
Sea of Thieves. So lately, that's what I've been mostly playing on stream. And I mean, there's kind of a story to it, but not really. It is more about just the action, or even sometimes the lack of action. It is a very therapeutic game to play. It's also a great game to play because you can actually interact with Twitch chat a lot more. But yeah, I would say it's probably more heavy on the action, heavy on the actual playing, and light on the story. But as long as it's fun, I don't think it really matters too much. I mean, like you said, it depends what you're in the mood for.
Yeah.
Yeah, because your mood can change any minute during any day. So if you sit down on the couch thinking, I want to play this, and then you see something else in your tray or in your drawer, like,
Yeah.
all right, I just want to kill shit. All
Yeah,
right,
sometimes
let's
you
go.
sometimes you just need some mindless.
Yeah.
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 But then there's games like Detroit Become Human. There's not really you just it's press X to continue basically.
Well,
but that's
just
like a
watching
great.
movie,
But that's
yeah.
but
Or the
you know,
Telltale games.
or the Telltale
Oh,
games.
yeah.
But those are great stories. So I guess there's there's games that are just story. I guess.
Yeah.
It just depends on the mood, honestly.
Well, there were Need for Speed games with story. Were
Yeah.
you into those for story, Ian?
You know. No, they're entertaining. They're funny. They're more funny. I wouldn't say there's never really been a good Need for Speed story, but
I
there's
wouldn't
been some.
expect so.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Let's get to some news. News and rumors. Hey guys, it's GDC is this week, and that means all the cool news will be announced tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
So
Come back next week and we'll talk about some of it.
after everyone has already talked about it, but we'll talk about some news that happened this past week. Sony is not buying Take-Two. That was crazy talk. Come on. Gearbox teases Borderlands 3 left and right. So what do you guys? And then
They've
I
had
think
all
it's
sorts
coming.
of teases.
it's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've had enough time to work on it. It's coming.
What do you guys want from a Borderlands 3?
So So is it-
honestly, it's gonna be boring, but more of the same.
It needs to the story needs to be on par or better than the second one.
Yeah,
That's
like
gonna
it
be hard.
needs-
They
yeah.
need to work really hard on that story because that was awesome in
Yeah,
Borderlands.
when I say
2.
more of the same, that's a high tier.
Yeah, it
like I
is.
don't
Yeah.
want them to be tripping up and trying to do too much fan service, but it's got
Yeah, and like Borderlands 1 was the Diablo of shooters.
But do we
because
worry they're
you don't
gonna-
really do any of the story? You just got to skip it and get to the shooting. and
Right.
looting.
Yeah,
Do we worry they move into this games as a service
I
Yeah.
think
model?
at this point,
Very nervous
any
about
any
that.
of those AAA games, you have to worry about it. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter who it is. I mean, maybe okay, if it's Nintendo, you probably don't have to worry about it. But if it's anyone else,
Yeah.
you have to worry about that. I feel like, which kind of sucks. But
I hope they just stick to their guns. I hope they just
yeah,
No Man's Sky Beyond, another massive collection of updates. I thought they were finished, but man,
Not yet.
Sean
apparently.
Murray dropping the stuff on Twitter.
supposedly it's really good now. I have not played
It is.
It is really
better,
good.
Have I played
yes.
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But and they
Yeah.
added like 4-player multiplayer, but it sounds like this next update's gonna make it almost MMO-ish level of
Wow.
online play. So it'll
So
be interesting.
finally, what they promised.
Yeah, but it's interesting though. There's been a little bit of backlash. I've been listening to some different podcasts, and a lot of people prefer it being this lonely, isolated,
It is nice.
like this. You're just
Yeah.
by yourself and you can't come
Well,
across people.
They kind of teased that you could, but it was very few and far between. So yeah, I guess maybe the
Well, the last
the
update.
Guildhall look would not be good for it, but
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the last update, the next update did allow the multiplayer, so you had
Right.
4 people you could play with. And then they did kind of promise that promise came to like fruition.
Mhm.
But now they're promising something above that. So like, and they're
It is
saying it's not
interesting, yeah.
MMO, but it's gonna. It sounds like it might be like that Guildhall with a bunch of people running around or something. So I don't know.
We have a lot of Borderlands talk here in the
Borderlands
chat.
talk.
If
No,
you wanna
yeah.
get
there's
to
a
some of
there's a
that.
few
Herder,
Borderlands
yeah,
fans
of
in there.
course.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like what? I can't even read that, guys.
Yeah, my vision's
I'll
pretty
go
bad.
ahead
Oh,
Scott
yeah.
has
Like,
it.
come on,
Yeah.
Scott.
Scott's
I
got
got it up.
this.
Scott.
Mr. Crunchberry says is great depending on what I want that day. I wouldn't want to take one or the other though. F-Zero has an awesome world to race in.
Just go to
Oh,
the
this is going back to the
Borderlands.
other
yeah,
question.
just going back to the other question. Borderlands 2 story is also Mr. Crunchberry. Borderlands 2 was great because the world and the villain Handsome Jack was so freaking good.
Yeah.
I don't know how Gearbox
was
could
good,
top
yeah.
a villain like Handsome Jack. It's true.
You really can't.
It will be
It
hard.
was,
Yeah,
like,
Handsome
yeah,
Jack was the best.
Memorable.
Yeah.
Apex Legends detailed their season pass. I don't know.
Oh, they did actually finally.
Yeah, they
they finally caved.
That comes out
No,
tomorrow.
they always planned. They always
Oh,
planned.
I
to have
know,
it.
but
Oh.
there's that whole thing running around where everyone's threatening Apex about the battle pass or season pass.
I mean, they have to make some money, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Halo.
They wanted it. That was the thing. Like they were demanding
Oh
it.
no, yeah, yeah. Halo Master Chief Collection getting Reach and coming to PC.
Hell yeah.
There's that.
Halo Reach was my favorite.
Halo Reach was awesome.
I didn't tap a picture quick enough, but someone today was on a motorcycle with the Master Chief bike helmet. It was so rad. Like
That's
the
great.
evil faceplate was like
Oh, that's
perfect.
nice.
Nice.
Division 2 launches without any drama. Come on, these games as a service have to have some kind of
That's
drama.
okay.
But
Let's
no,
drama
nobody's
something.
been talking about it, which is
There's also
kinda
that.
weird. Yeah.
I've been seeing actually a few people that I follow on Twitch have been playing it, and they've had nothing but positive things to say about it.
That's
It's a
great.
free Redbox rental right now too. I can
Oh,
read the
really?
code at the end of the show. Yeah, I was like, it's free. I'm
That's
not gonna
cool.
pass that up.
I
Nice.
played
Yeah.
the demo and I just bored.
I think we
Yeah,
both
I-
did. We're just like not impressed, but also
See,
like,
I
it's
have
Division.
a free code for it too.
There you
Like
go.
I did a PC upgrade very recently, and of course, if you buy a motherboard
Right.
these days, it comes with.
Or
free
graphics
game.
card or
Or-
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I have it. I just haven't played it. I don't have a desire to play
That's
it, but
what
I've
everyone likes it.
heard
It's
it's
free.
fun.
I mean, I played a little bit of the first
Okay.
one, but it seems like more the first, just
I think
prettier.
I think that's what it is. It's the first, but with a lot of the issues resolved, and they evidently built it from the end game backwards. So
There's supposed to be a lot to do. Yeah.
right. So when you actually get to the end game, then there's actually shit to do versus.
And
the
you get to
opposite.
pick a class, I
Yeah.
guess. So it's all kinds of weird stuff
The
you get to do.
only glitch I heard about was a drone. If you release a drone, it will crash your game.
Yep.
That's the whole
Shadow
point.
That
Wave
seems
in the
like
chat
a-
says,
yeah.
Yeah, that
Good
seems like a bad
idea.
one.
That's a bad glitch.
I think all the problems they resolved, except for the fact that women's faces are still ugly. Like I don't know,
Yeah,
like
let's-
why are the faces
Can
so
we patch
ugly?
pretty women in the game, not monster?
Oh.
Not even. It doesn't have to be
Uh,
pretty. Just like not monster looking people. I don't know.
So the only thing I wish the Division 2 did that the first one did was that amazing trailer they released. with like it was
I don't know if I've
time
seen
lapse where it's just time kept on passing by and you saw like this bed with different imprints
Hmm.
of what was going on around this room, and then it went outside and there was like you couldn't see the people, but it was all like time lapse fights, and it was a really great trailer. It was worth checking out again.
Free to play DOA 6 Core Fighters launches on everything. So if you didn't want to buy the $60 game, you can get the free to play version, which comes with 4 characters.
4, not 2. That's
Yeah.
more than the last Dead or Alive.
Right.
3D.
And if we learned anything this past week, it's don't do cocaine
Oh
in
my
Japan.
God.
Wait, what?
Jeez.
I read about this,
Don't
but
do-
I read further into this as in 1980, Paul McCartney flew into Japan with half a pound of marijuana and was almost in jail for 7 years, but they let him go after 10 days because it was like
Paul
fans
McCartney.
demanding Paul McCartney.
Paul fucking McCartney.
And then the fans were
Drug
like
use
super
is
writing, but-
crazy, looked frowned
But yeah,
upon.
Japan's
Holy
laws on
moly.
drugs, they shut down the game the guy was in. They're gonna like undo his voice from Kingdom
No,
Hearts 2.
So the game released in Japan,
Uh-huh.
and then they stopped selling it,
Because
and
of his
they're-
voice.
and they're not releasing it here yet. They're going to completely take his voice out and put the new
Wait,
voice
what
in.
game was this?
This is
I-
Judgment,
Different. Yeah.
and it's like kind of a send off from Yakuza. It's like a new title in the
Okay.
Yakuza universe. But I was hearing that Disney is considering taking
Olaf
his
from the Frozen
Yeah,
character
out.
completely out. And like, I mean, he's gonna have to have another voice replacement. Like, someone's gonna have to voice his characters.
Well, the price of Judgment in Japan is going to be more expensive once it comes back out, is
Mhm.
what I was reading,
Oh,
because
boy.
they have to
That's 'cause you
re-record
want
all of his voices.
Cocaine.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Well, and you got to get that version with his voice in it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
That was-
yeah,
that
it goes-
was
I'm
gonna
not
be-
updating
yeah.
Kingdom Hearts. I'm just gonna keep that OG voice.
all right. Well, let's get to the beat list. I'm sure
I have
it's
one more little
you
news
have
tidbit.
little tidbits.
Super Real Mahjong PV was taken off the Switch store because it had accidental nudity.
Wait, what?
So
Yeah, I
I
saw that.
wonder how.
Why didn't I get that?
Yeah. And I skipped and looked at the little gameplay, and it's really just mahjong, and you get a little like bikini shot afterward. But I just wonder, there's so many Switch games that comes out. Like, how do you quality check these indie titles or these little mahjong games? Like, no one's gonna play through an entire mahjong game looking for boobs, but apparently it slipped through.
I was
and
gonna say someone did.
Yeah, somebody
someone
was all
found
about
it.
that.
And, like,
Slipped.
some
Hey.
kid's playing mahjong, just enjoying his.
I have a friend who's all about the mahjong, so maybe he's the one who found
I'll
it.
tell him, do not update your e-store and get Super Real Mahjong PV.
Yeah, didn't think
Yeah.
Mahjong would be a bathroom game.
I didn't think so either.
All right. So
All
let's
right.
get to the beat list. There was a couple beaters in here. Scott. DMC5.
DMC5, beat it.
Nice rental even.
Yeah,
That's
the
great.
second rental. I mean, you lose your rhythm if you stop playing Devil May Cry and then go back to it. You don't have the same
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 combos, so it was a little tricky to pick back up at mission 14
Yeah, of course.
and try to tear through. I was using all my gold gems. It was really fun. The game does have replay value because you acquire this ability to basically like grab and throw enemies. So playing the first boss, normally you just do your fight, but now the an enemy is down, you can grab him by the tail and throw him around into buildings and stuff. So
That's
I'm like, this is
awesome.
great. Like, this
Nice.
is worth playing through a second time.
yeah.
They
So it was
they're
like-
also adding a mode, like a difficulty or a blood splatter mode thing,
Yeah.
April 1st. So
There's all
Yeah.
kinds of DLC. And then there's insane amounts of difficulty. So it was like Son of Sparta, and then like Devil Hunter, and then Heaven or Hell, and then Heaven and Hell, and then Dante Must Die, which I assume is just like a single kill, single hit death. So I mean, I feel like I played on normal, but I also played on like the super easy mode, considering there's that many harder, impossibly difficult difficulties to add onto it. I did a little research on Devil May Cry is also doing a music tour. The soundtrack for Devil May Cry is going to be called the Devil Awakens tour. It's in Massachusetts, but it might tour other places. I would definitely see it here. Like, that
why
music's so
Massachusetts
catchy.
that's
of all
cool.
the places?
Yeah, I guess start on the
Busted.
East Coast and work your way over.
Huh.
Also, Hyde, J-Rocker in Japan, used scenes from Devil May Cry in his music video. So it's big. Capcom is really pushing this.
That's cool.
Well worth playing, for sure.
And then Jared beat a couple games.
I did. I beat the main story in Anthem.
Nice.
which
Congratulations.
I really liked it.
Cool.
I mean, it's a really good game. It's not my favorite game of all time, but I had a ton of fun playing it. I want to try different classes. Because after a while the storm gets kind of boring. You know, just kind of way up in the sky. All the enemies look like ants, and you just kind of popping them with ice.
Jared. They
Yeah,
are
right. Their
ants.
masks kind of look like ants sometimes, but yeah, I want to try different classes and jump in and have a lot of fun with it. So I can plan on resuming play on that.
Or you can help Aaron because Aaron just got it.
I did.
Awesome. Yeah, that's right. You got it for your birthday.
I did.
Yeah, and I also beat Strikey Sisters, which, if you didn't hear me describe that, it's like a brick breaker game,
Okay.
but with retro, like, I don't know, it's a little better than 8-bit graphics, but I guess it could be 16 or close to, like a brick breaker game with a couple of characters. You can do co-op for 2 people, and you can break the blocks in the area, and there's enemies that you can defeat, and there's a lot of different collectibles that you can get, and there's boss fights and a story which is voiced. So I mean, they put a lot
That's
of work
crazy.
into it. It's
Is it
really-
multiplayer online? Because I would be down
It's
to
not
play it.
online,
Okay.
but it is local co-op.
local.
So that's
Couch
really
co-op.
great.
That kind of sounds like what was that brick breaker game that just came out fairly recently? It was pixel graphics as well. Not Spellbreak. That's something totally different.
Yeah, I haven't followed the Brick Breaker stuff very
Yeah.
much. The last one I really enjoyed was Shatter on the PS3.
Okay.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, which I messaged that company and asked if there was one coming to PS4 and Switch, and all they responded with is it really would play good on Switch. We don't have anything to announce. So I have a feeling it's coming to
could just say
Switch.
no.
There you
So please, please, please bring it to Switch. Shatter was so good.
Something I'm sad that Final Fantasy 15 is not on this beat list, Aaron. How come you have not beaten that game?
It is a hard game. I just got my ass kicked against
Hard?
one of the, well, I just barely beat one of the big bosses. I've just met God, what's his name? Oh god, I can't remember his fucking name. But Bahamut, actually. I just got into the crystal.
So a secret with that game is you pretty much can't die, because if somebody falls, just use a Phoenix down,
Yeah.
and they'll come right back up.
Well, the problem was I did use the Phoenix down, and I ran out against that guy a couple times, the one guy, but then I figured it out and just beat his ass eventually after the 3rd try.
Yeah, just make sure you have plenty of items, because as far as I could tell, you couldn't really die in the game unless you ran out of items.
Yeah.
So spend all your money on Phoenix Downs.
Yeah, that's what I did, and I found as many Mega Phoenix downs as I could as well.
Yeah, Mega Phoenix is nice, but that's one thing I've always hated about RPGs. You get like 2 of the best one, so you don't use it, and then you make it to the end of the game, and like, oh, I should have used those.
Every single Final Fantasy, I'm left at the final part of the game with 20 mega elixirs that have never been used.
Yeah.
I'm saving them,
and they
but
cost
they will never be used.
Yeah, and they cost too much at the store, so you're not gonna buy them,
Nah.
and you're
Right.
not gonna use them. So like, what's the point? Just give us plenty and make them usable.
Yeah.
All right.
And then something that I know Jared borrowed from Aaron, but I don't know if he started playing it. And
Darkest Dungeon.
Andrew is also over here playing
I
it.
started playing it.
And what are your thoughts on this? Like the 2D Soul game, basically. Is that what we got?
Yeah. Okay. So I actually looked it up. Wizorb was the game I was talking about. You should check it out.
Wizorb.
Okay, I'll check it out.
But yes, so I did start playing through Darkest Dungeon on Monday of last week. I made a switch over from Sea of Thieves because I was getting a little too salty with that game on a certain quest. Pun intended. But yeah, so I actually have Darkest Dungeon on 2 systems. I have it on the PC, which I have no idea how I got it on the PC, and then I have it on the Switch. And from what everyone told me, I should play it on the PC. So I'm gonna leave the Switch sealed.
Probably for the better.
Yeah, well, and I'm playing it now, and I'm seeing why that would probably be the case, because there's a lot of like touch stuff, and I don't know how well that would work. I mean, you could play it probably in handheld fine on the Switch, but playing with a Pro controller would probably be a little.
I think it's on like iPhones and stuff like that. You can
is
play,
it
It's a
really?
mobile game as well, so
Okay.
it's
It
it definitely feels like that when you're playing the
So
game.
what's the
It's-
draw to this game?
So it's supposed to be brutally difficult.
It is.
Okay,
Good
well,
lord.
I'm still relatively like I
It's okay,
just
I'm
killed
barely
the
anywhere, too,
necromancer.
don't worry.
Yeah, I haven't made it to the Necromancer yet. I did the first dungeon is about it. I unlocked the tavern and all that
Yeah.
stuff. I haven't touched it since then.
So you go in expecting lots of heroes to die early on, basically cannon fodder. Try and get a good team together, learn the basics of the game, work your way through all these dungeons, and eventually taking on the darkest dungeon, defeating the evil in there. So there's horrible RNG in it. Expect shit to go wrong.
Yeah.
The game isn't necessarily about keeping your characters alive. It's about dealing with their stress. So the stress is the big part of the game. You have to mitigate their stress. There's very little ways for them to relieve stress. And if they get too stressed out going through the dungeon, they'll have a heart attack and die instantly.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
It's
to
kinda fucked.
mitigate their stress, there's some of them that you need to send to the bar so they can drink themselves
Right.
to a
There's
stupor.
the
There's some you have to send to a
brothel, yeah.
church.
And then there's a
Liquid
asylum
courage.
in one of the
Yeah,
So,
and
it's
all
interesting
these
that way.
heroes will either have pre-existing or will develop quirks, and there's positive and negative quirks, and like one of the negative ones is kleptomaniac or machoism. So like they could actually refuse a heal.
Klepto.
What?
Yeah, so they could literally refuse a heal and then die the next turn, or they'll self-inflict damage on themselves.
Hey,
Or
Jared,
they'll
when you're done, I
attack.
want to play it next.
Never
Yeah,
got
just
these.
just make sure you buy plenty of torches because it gets
Yeah.
darker every time you move.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
I mean, the darker the
uh,
dungeon, the better loot you get when
Yeah.
you finish. But it's like
Risk and
it's a
reward.
constant like struggle of trying to mitigate
Yeah,
how much.
Try to make sure everybody was happy. It's
yeah, well,
hard.
no one is happy in that game.
Well, happier than killing themselves.
some
essentially.
people
it
get
fun?
really
it is fun. It is very
scared
fun. Yeah,
when it's dark, too
yeah.
dark.
I would recommend like playing through it a little bit without knowing anything about it, and then maybe doing a little bit of research to help, like intro tips to, because that's what I did. I played through the first day, had no idea. I lost like 4 or 5 heroes, and then looked up a couple of tips, and then the second day I actually played it for longer, and I only lost 1. I also got some really lucky RNG with that, but I don't know. Like there was people in my chat like warning me and telling me, "Oh, you're gonna quit this game after like the 4th hero that dies," and like we're switching to. I was planning on doing it on all day on Saturday, 8 hours, and one of my guys was like, "Okay, I bet you money that Saturday's game is gonna change after you play it through." I mean, it really was not that bad. The art style too is just absolutely gorgeous.
It's
I
pretty cool.
love how the game looks.
It does look nice, yeah.
But yeah, it's a brutally difficult game. Just going in knowing that you're going to make mistakes and people are going to die, it helps a lot because you don't feel bad about it. Because they are 100% expendable until you get it into the later game and you have this person who's like level 5.
And then they
and you
die.
put all this stuff in and then they die. Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow.
So that's, I'm sure, where it gets really tough.
Oh yeah.
But for right now, it's fun. I'm going to keep playing it for a little bit and we'll see how well it goes. But
Yeah, that's
yeah,
awesome.
I'd highly recommend checking it out.
Mr. Crunchberry points out Arkanoid Plus. It was on the WiiWare. I didn't get to play that, but Arkanoids was one of my first Brick Breaker games, and I loved it for the
Yeah.
NES.
Yeah, Arkanoid is a fantastic one.
Classic.
RPG Pinball is kind of in that same vein in terms of the fighting on bosses and stuff, and you do like break stuff. So it's kind of like a weird hybrid between a Brick Breaker.
We've talked about it several times. It's not brick breaking, but it's pinball. Yoku's Island Express.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
mean, like
get that.
you break things down in it. So, but it is pinball. You do have the flippers, but yeah.
Okay, awesome.
I've been playing a little bit of Skyrim, like always. I might have jumped in a few games of Anthem and Apex Legends. Nothing too special. I had you guys try Ape Out last week. What'd you guys think?
It's
That's a
great.
fun game.
Loved
Yeah,
it.
I had a ton
Oh,
of
yeah,
fun.
you mentioned
Yeah.
that in the channel.
Yes,
I-
I'm trying to push this game. I think it's a brilliant, awesome game, and
Devolver is one of those companies you should keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
they're so cool.
Just watch them.
it's
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for the banana. My
Yeah.
friend Pedro.
My
That's
friend
right.
Pedro.
I swear that trailer came out forever ago. Is
Ever
that-
ago.
Yeah,
when
I
the game
mean,
out?
even
Like,
at
it's
PAX, they didn't
crazy.
even have a playable one. It's just
so weird.
Oh no, PAX
That's
West
the
they did.
the slow mo.
Yeah, bullet time,
Bullet
banana.
time, 2D.
Yeah,
Okay,
it just
yeah.
seems.
I'll
really
get it just
cool.
on concept that it's a banana. Like that's.
Oh, of course.
yeah.
Well, the banana's making
Banana.
him do stuff,
fan,
right?
yeah.
Isn't that what the deal is? Like the banana's talking to him or making him kill all these people? I don't know.
We'll see. when
Anywho.
it comes out.
Yeah, but Ape Out, it's a great game. You should try it. It's awesome.
Oh, you passed level 2? You said you're at the jungle.
I'm still in the. No, I'm in the high rise.
Okay.
It's cool because especially if you like music, because each like set of levels is an album,
Okay.
and then each like room or
one's a
level
track?
is a track. And there's
Okay.
8 tracks. So like you go through 4 tracks and it flips. It goes end of side A or flip to side B or something. And then
Oh, that's cool.
and
yeah.
then Yeah,
The game oozes with style.
a lot of style,
Yeah,
and then
it's fun.
the style, the type of music is different for each album, obviously. So it was very jazzy in the first album, and now this other one's kind of this new like jungle vibes and kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just cool. It's very cool. So check it out. Ape Out. It's like only like $14.99 on Switch. It's also on PC on Steam. So, and then the other game I oddly have been playing. I was really wanting a race car game. Just like I needed a palate cleanser. I've been playing all these like shooty games and all this
Yeah.
stuff.
So drive.
And I kind of bailed. I've always been a huge Gran Turismo fan, but I bailed on. I did the demo or the beta for Sport, and I just wasn't interested in the online racing that they were pushing, and so I just didn't buy it at launch. But in the PSN store, it was only $19.99, so I grabbed it, and they have a full-on single-player campaign with
And
all kinds of stuff.
that's not a sale price. That's its normal price as well. It's $20.
It's $20. It went down.
Is that the one where you like race through different seasons and all that?
No, that's
my racing games.
it's
all that
cool.
well.
Forza Horizon,
Understandable.
which I would love to play, but I don't. My PC won't run it, and I don't have an Xbox. So, but yeah, that's the season one. But no, GT's the old Gran Turismo driving simulator one. It's more like not arcadey like Forza Horizon is.
Okay.
So it's more simulation, and man, I just missed it. I've just been loving it. I've just been playing it constantly. I must have already put in like 20 hours or something already, and I just got it like I don't know. So I'm not really gonna go into it as a driving game. So you drive cars, but
Do you ever see yourself getting a steering wheel for your PS4?
no, because I never really. I mean, I had the other one that I got from you, and I used it a little bit, and it's like VR. It's just so much work to set all that up, and I just want to play with the controller. Like, I'm okay with getting a fight stick. Like, that's a little bit of setup. I just have to turn that on, and that's another different thing. It's a little big thing that I kind of sit on my lap. But, like, putting the headset on or putting a wheel and having somewhere to sit it, and then I don't have, like, a car seat to set it up, and I don't want to sit at a desk awkward because it doesn't – I have a driving wheel, but I'm sitting at, like I'm in a bus or something. I don't want it. It's not the
So
same.
you're not gonna get the Switch Google.
The bird,
Oh,
rim,
yeah.
bird rim
Labo.
job Labo
Yeah.
thing? Yeah, no.
Yeah, the easiest way to break your Switch and have to buy another one.
Oops, it fell.
Jared will probably get
No.
it. He'll probably get it when
No.
it comes down in price.
Maybe when it
I
comes
would
down
not
to price
trust
for
my
shits and giggles.
Switch in cardboard.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care how much you engineer that thing. Like, that's gonna
Yeah.
fall off and break.
You better duct tape that thing together and keep it
Yeah.
in there.
I was actually thinking along those lines. I was trying to find my Google cardboard glasses the other day, and I was seeing if I could like somehow affix them to it, like and make it look like it would, because
It's much smaller than your Switch. I found mine recently.
No,
it was
no.
crushed on the bottom of the box.
it is
Yeah, I
it is
mean-
smaller, but
Yeah, it's
no. But what I'm saying is like if you look at the Labo VR, like the plastic part that is the actual goggles before it breaks out into the cardboard piece,
Yeah.
is like the
lenses.
size. It's like the size of Google Cardboard. So if I like took the Google Cardboard and then took another piece of cardboard and like kind of funneled it out, so like I got the right distance, I could like manufacture.
or isn't this thing like $20 and you could probably just
No, it's like 40, and then it's
Ugh.
80,
Oh my
and then it's
God.
80 for the bigger one. Yeah, it's like two different versions.
Dang.
Oh, that's right. The like whatever that I don't even.
There's like a bird.
Yeah.
There's like a goose
Yeah.
that you stick on your face, so you look up its ass and it's
Uh,
VR.
Rim-
And then there's like an elephant nose, and then there's a gun one.
Yeah. Okay. I saw the gun
Wow.
one.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I think it's
Yeah.
it's gonna be on sale.
Well, Labo
Quickly.
the initial
You'll be able to
release.
pick it up for $20 real soon.
The initial release didn't do very hot, and the fact that Nintendo just like kind of hot dropped that like on a Monday night at 7:00 is like, oh, here's on Twitter. It's like,
Yep.
well, you just had a direct. You not no okay. I guess clearly they don't care about it. So
Yeah. I imagine that their real VR push is probably going to come when they release the second gen Switch, where
You
it's
think so?
smaller and lighter and actually makes a little more sense.
I don't think they care at all about any of that. I mean, VR is
Well-
such a niche, kind of a niche. It's been kind of successful, but kind of just
Okay, but also Wii motion controllers. They already tried to do VR with the. I mean, they are all about niche. I can see them trying to get into it a little more seriously, and if not this generation, next gen. For
Do you think
sure.
that the new Switch, the new modified version, is going to be an all-in-one, or do you think it'll still have Joy-Cons?
I think it'll be all in one. I think they're gonna try and shrink it down, make it more portable. Because I don't know about you guys, but I do not really take mine
Just
too
airplanes.
far.
That's the only time.
Yeah,
Nope,
I've
I'm
taken
not,
mine on the airplane.
It's not my back pocket like the 3DS is.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I've seen maybe 2 or 3 people on our local railway that's actually using it the max. That are
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. Do you
playing on
guys
the
see
live
him doing another DS?
No.
No.
I mean, they're still
don't think
releasing
so.
games, which is kind of cool, but I think that's what the new one is going to be. It's going
Yeah.
to be the
Yeah.
DS replacement.
The
full
all-in-one.
The thing is, the weird thing about that is like,
I mean, it'll still be a dockable thing that you can still hook up to
right,
your TV.
and you'll have to have a different controller,
yeah,
or
which
you
is
maybe use
fine
your old
because I
Joy-Cons
mean,
or something.
if you're not using the Pro controller for most of those games, anyways, you're probably not
It's
having
but
a-
it's probably also more for kids though. I would think too.
the
Like,
smaller one.
Yeah,
Maybe.
it's because
Yeah.
it'd be more indestructible. You won't. The Joy-Cons don't come off. Obviously, it'd just be more.
It is pretty fragile as it is now. I mean, it's a screen,
Yeah.
easily
Yeah.
dentable screen with no protective case. Yeah,
a lot of
it'd have
times
to
I
be.
even take off the Joy-Cons when they're not plugged into the dock, and so I just leave it as a cube. So it
See, I
really can't get.
I don't dock mine except for charging. It's always in my
Oh.
case by my bed. That's
Well,
usually where I
guess
play
it's-
it.
Yeah, I mean, the only time I have time to play video games is on stream too. So usually, if I'm playing, it's
Right.
docked and on the
Cool.
stream.
Docking.
With Aaron. That's
boy.
that's an inside. That's an old inside
Uh,
joke. Let's not go there.
Let's leave it.
Or let's no. Hey, so we do this thing where we do this couch co-optionals, and it's would you like to recommend anything that's not, other than video games? So if you have something you like been watching or reading or
Okay.
But we
You
can
can
go.
do me last.
We can go this way, and you guys can jump in on that.
All right. I finally decided to watch season 2 of The Dragon Prince on Netflix, and I couldn't stop. And I eventually noticed that they were playing a trailer for another show, and I'm like, "What? What?
over?
It's over? No! Where? I want more!" Yeah, the season 2 was really great. I loved it. So, Dragon Prince, please watch, enjoy.
Awesome. Aaron, you got something?
I watched Central Intelligence on my birthday with Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson. That movie, I didn't expect much work.
Why are you on this show?
Wild card.
Wild card. But no, I watched it. I didn't have high hopes for it because I seen the trailers and stuff like that. Thought it was gonna be crap. I was like, why not watch it? It was actually really funny, and the fact of seeing a guy like The Rock, just the biggest dork, pretty much the
Oh,
entire time. He's a CIA guy in the movie, but like,
Oh no, but
like,
he's just a huge dork in
yeah,
general.
yeah, but he like.
I mean, he was a pro wrestler.
This is true. He was. This is true. But no, he was like in the show, in the movie, he's like more dorky than ever. He has like
Yes.
a brony shirt on and
Oh,
like a
God.
fanny pack, and he's
So
wearing-
he's basically the new Arnold.
pretty much.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest, guys. I've hit peak Dwayne Johnson saturation, and I just.
Well, he's gonna be around for a few.
Oh, I
more
know he
years.
is. I
For
know.
Doom Annihilation and
Right.
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, I never really hit that because I never saw a lot of his movies he was in, but yeah, I can see the saturation starting to glaze all over my face.
Whoa.
What?
But no, it's a good movie though. I actually liked it.
You must really smell what the Rock's cooking.
Yeah.
Oh my!
Okay.
Just
All
see
right,
it.
Aaron.
Just see it.
Yes.
It's funny.
Scott, what do you got? You got something?
I do have a couple things. Gaming related. There's a game called Mars Underground, indie game, but it's Groundhog's Day if it were a 16-bit video game. And I saw the trailer to it. I played a little bit of the demo, and it's cool because I mean, you start the game and you already have these. It's like RPG style that you have the dialogue choices, but it's just like, oh, you're not going to answer me, are you? And then the default choice you can only choose is the ... But there's a grayed out. I know who you are, or don't try to like threaten me. I know your secrets. So it's kind of like multiple playthroughs. It's basically one day over and over and over.
That's cool.
That's
I'm
pretty
just
fun.
I'm always a big fan of
Okay.
time loops and Groundhog Day and
Speaking
everything.
of Groundhog's Day, is anybody interested in that VR one that's coming out for
Yeah,
PSVR?
they have like the actual sequel
Yeah.
to Groundhog's Day that's
yeah, I
coming
think
out
it's
as
supposed
VR.
to be canon and everything
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Oh,
I'm-
really?
I'm
I've seen the
excited
movie
for
so
that.
many
It's
times.
like his son, though.
Such a good
Yeah.
movie.
thing.
What's
And-
that
Punxsutawney Phil.
Netflix movie, The Russian Doll? That's
Yeah.
That's
very
also time
Groundhog.
loop.
Did you see that yet?
Not yet.
Go
So
for
yeah,
it,
right.
Scott.
My
That's-
Netflix
it's pretty
queue
great.
queue is like out the window.
Yeah.
I'd have to spend a week to like even break even on that. So other things, I saw the Dance Dance Revolution movie, Beats of Rage, FP2 with the Jason Trost was there in person answering the Q&A. He will make more of these because it gets kickstarted. Like
Well,
his kickstart was 20,000. He hit 34,000.
That franchise will never die. They released for the Wii 2019.
You're familiar with it? Yeah, FP.
Dance Dance Revolution?
No, this is the movie. You've not seen
No,
the.
I have not seen the movie.
Okay, so it's a
But, I
indie
mean, the
movie.
game
But yeah, the game will
itself
never
never
stop.
die.
Yeah.
No, FP is this movie where they settle. It's like a post-apocalyptic ish type
Yeah,
movie where they
80s
and then they do
looking-
DDR to fight each other. It's like
What?
they do, and it's very 80s
Oh my
infused.
Oh, the
Yes.
second's even better. They steal their souls, and by souls they mean shoes. Their shoe soles.
Oh, jeez.
Like
Sounds
it's
ridiculous.
campy.
Yes.
He knows it's campy. The third one, he said he's inspired by Chrono Trigger. He's gonna do time travel in it.
Oh boy.
Alright.
Uh,
Yeah,
Mortal
that's
Does sound
Kombat. Like
interesting.
Gotta give him
Check
some
it out.
credit for that. That's
it's
awesome.
it's like those retro, like you
Yeah.
know, Kung Fury or it's like those type of movies.
Oh yeah,
You know.
that was a good one.
cheesy
Fury was
soundtrack. He had a
great.
montage of like dancing so hard on the dance pad. He's like sweating and like playing the hardest
Smoke coming
mode.
out of his feet.
Oh man,
It's like gonna be a giant pool of water coming down when he sits down on a chair.
The first
Yeah.
one was on Hulu forever.
it was
And I
on
don't know-
Hulu and Netflix, and now it's on Tubi, which is weird.
Oh,
not your favorite made
It's-
Android.
It's fine. It's like a free app on most consoles. But they put commercials in Tubi. So yeah, even though it's free, it's like Crackle or something. You can watch
Yeah.
movies, but
30-day trial and then cancel after you watch it. So I liked it. It was great to have the Q&A. The beginning of the movie does say there's a 3-drink minimum before watching, and I thought that was just like
very honest.
he's well aware that this
Oh,
is
boy.
just the cheesiest thing in the world, but he's gonna keep making them.
cool.
cool.
So that's my second thing. The third thing is
Man, you got all the optionals.
Jordan Peele's new movie Us.
Yeah.
I really like Get Out. It was super twisty thriller mind
This is
screw
crazy,
and
yeah.
so this one's I think it's clones. I think it's just evil clones or something because there's a scene with all these rabbits. But comes out Thursday. I haven't seen the scary movie in theaters since the Happy Death Day to You. So I need something really.
So you can't
scary.
actually recommend this movie yet because you have not seen it.
I'm anticipating it,
Anticipated being awesome.
hyping it, and I will
All right,
definitely talk
I
about it
see.
next week. So yeah.
Scott's always breaking the rules.
Ugh. All right. Well, I did see
And
Beats
I'm
of
the
Rage,
wild
so I
card.
can
Yeah, that one counts.
absolutely say 3-drink minimum is an absolute minimum.
Cool.
Definitely check it out on whatever it comes out to.
Did you figure anything out, Andrew?
I did. I had
Yeah.
to look up this last one just because I wasn't 100% sure on the dude's name. Okay, so in terms of watching, highly recommend Russian Doll.
Okay.
It was a lot of fun to watch.
That's
I
what the girl from
All of my roommates have seen it.
Orange is the
Orange
New
New
Black.
Black or
Yep.
or American
She's
Pie, right?
fantastic in it. Yeah, I mean, if you want to go that far back.
Back in the day.
Back in the
If you want to watch something incredibly cheesy, The Order. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a Netflix original show. It tries to be super serious, and it's just not. It's only one season right now. I'm watching it with my wife, and we probably got to the second or the season before this or the episode before the season finale, and it is just so bad, but we can't stop watching it.
Is it one of those terribly awesome shows?
Kind of, yeah. It's like a better version of. This is gonna make no one watch this. This is a better version of Twilight, where you have magicians and werewolves fighting, but it is
Aaron,
that
you're
is-
back. Aaron, you're back on the show.
That is where the similarities end. It's literally just magician. I mean, I guess that one it's vampires, isn't it? Okay, I don't even know what Twilight is. It's magicians and werewolves fighting. So then it's way better than Twilight. I highly recommend checking it out. It's super campy. Again, that probably should come with a drink minimum.
minimum,
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. For games. I just want to make sure. I know, but you got to do a game. So
That's
we're-
fine. That's
we're-
fine.
yeah,
You're the
yeah.
guest. You can do whatever you want.
Fair
Go for
enough.
I just want to make sure everyone knows that the Messenger is going up for physical order for the
Yeah,
Oh,
Switch
yeah.
and PS4 on limited run this Friday, I want to say. So don't miss that. It's nice that they're making them open orders for the Switch games. I've been able to pick up so many more.
Have you played
Yeah,
that?
that's cool.
See, here's the thing. I will usually not pick up a game unless I can get it physically.
Okay.
So I have not played it yet, and I am way more excited for it than normal because I wanted to play this game and I just haven't pulled the trigger yet.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
I
Yeah.
love Ninja Gaiden, and I've watched playthroughs, and
Yeah, I
mean,
love
it's-
Ninja Gaiden
It's also
as well.
time travel, right?
Yes, and
Yes.
there's like graphic shifts. I've seen a couple people play it, so
Well, because
I'm
of the
not
time
going
travel,
into-
I believe.
Yeah.
I think it's tied to the
so
time
I'm not
travel.
going to it 100% blind, but it
Right.
looks a lot of fun. And then for music, if anyone's familiar
Rounding the
with
bases.
the Sword, yeah, I just got to cover everything. If everyone's
Let's
familiar
go.
with the Sword, they are a heavy metal band. They originally started off as a stoner rock band, and they kind of moved to more like prog metal. They don't like to be defined, but they're really awesome. You should check them out. Anyways, the lead guitarist Kyle Shoot is releasing his solo album very soon. He just released a single for it. It is pretty amazing. You should check it out. If you don't know how to spell his name, it's just SHUTT. Also, if you go to any of the Swords social media pages, yep.
Yeah.
I would also,
On
if you're not
Spotify.
familiar with the band, I would highly recommend checking out the Sword as well. But yeah, I'm really excited for his debut album, solo project. Hopefully it doesn't mean the band's done. They've been taking a little bit of a hiatus, but it should be pretty awesome.
Awesome. Very awesome. I don't have anything this week. I've been busy with car stuff, like my actual car and stuff. So, a lot of car stuff with me.
What,
GT
what
Sport.
brand, what
all
brand
cars
of tires
are
would you recommend for your
What car show do you?
Hyundai
Oh, Grand
Genesis?
Tour. Yeah, it's
Also
car
BS
week.
Build.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. B is for build. Anyway, let's not go into this.
What is the new car on B for Build? You might as
BS
well
for,
recommend
he got a totaled Lamborghini Huracan.
that. Oh, fun. Yeah. Great.
Yeah, so he's gonna anyway. Not you guys don't care. All right. I want to thank Andrew Rockhart for being on the show.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's
Very
been
awesome
good.
to have you on. We'll have to have you back on after TwitchCon. That'd be cool to hear some stories from that.
Yeah.
Where can people find you? Where do you want to plug all your sites?
Yeah, I mean, the main one is still the clothing line, as much fun as I have on Twitch. But the clothing line is rockhartclothing.com. The Twitch is just twitch.tv/Rockhart, and both of those are ROCKHART. I'm on Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff too. But if you find one of those two sites, you can find all the rest of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Go to the
How
website.
convenient.
Go to the website. Buy a
Very
T-shirt
convenient.
or a pin at the very least, or something.
Goodbye.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go help our friends out.
When is this going live again? Tomorrow?
So this will be. I'll kind of edit this and then I'll put it up tonight. But it basically goes out tomorrow morning.
All right. I'll also throw in a 15% discount code for Couch Co-op, no hyphen.
Yeah.
That'll be live starting March 19th, and it'll be up for the next 2 months.
Oh, sweet.
Great.
There you go.
Great.
We'll promote that then. So yeah, again, thank you very much for being on the show.
Yeah, of course.
I want to thank everyone for listening, everyone for participating in the chat. Thank you very much. Remember, you can leave feedback on Twitbook, Instaface, and Gramter at Couch Co-op Shows. All one word.
No hyphen.
Also, try following us on twitch.tv/The Couch Co-op Show, where we also try and play video games. We haven't really streamed very much lately, though. But our show, we try to stream it every Monday night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I think, yeah. Anything else? You guys gonna stream anything? You guys don't stream anymore. You guys say you are. I mean, I guess Scott did like a little bit of DMC5.
DMC5 and
That was-
Yeah.
so considering
Someday I'll get there.
tearing through Mega Man just to finish that off.
You can find our podcast everywhere: iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Radio Public, Spotify. Subscribe, leave us a comment. That would all be very awesome. I want to thank Jared,
Of course.
Aaron,
Yes.
Scott,
Yeah.
Andrew again for joining me here on the couch. For Couch Co-op, I'm Ian, reminding you to please be excellent to each other.
Wild Stallions.
Stallions.